Dragonkin, The Ancestral Blood, is a third-person 3D hack-and-slash game with Japanese style of art. I work as a level designer for this game. From the start, player can clearly see that the goal of this level, the giant tower up there. When player enter the city, we have some environmental storytelling going on, where the swords and the arrows are everywhere. This place is dangerous. Player will also see the faction flag. This tells the player that this city is belong to a certain group. When player walk into the yard, they will encounter a melee and a ranged enemy. Player can lure the melee enemy to the cover and then kill it first. After that, player can use the cover to get close to the ranged enemy and kill it. Player will also notice that the bridge is being gated, but if they look to the right, there is a yellow blinking interactable. There are two enemies guarding the interactable. Player will have to kill them first. Player also have this Dragonkin ability that does damage over time around the enemy. Player can press E around the interactable and the bridge will come down. After that, player will enter a very large yard. The big house in the yard naturally catches player's eye. I want player to go there. But when they're about to reach there will be an ambush. I'm trying to go for that feeling of, it looks so nice and quiet, but suddenly the enemy just pops out. There are three enemies hiding under the water, and the player needs to fight them. This is a very good place to use the Dragonkin ability, because there are more enemies, and it does AoE damage over time. So obviously I want player to check out that big house and that blue altar, but if they choose to go for the door first, which is on the right side, they will encounter two ghost enemies. Player will also notice that the door is being gated. This will force player to go back to the blue altar and the big house, which is exactly where I want them to go at first. Player can also press V to heal. There will be two enemies guarding the altar. Player will have to kill this enemy first in order to activate the altar. Player will have to attack the altar to activate it. And now the doors open. After that, player will fight more enemies, but this time it's close to a stair. Obviously, the ranged enemy is the most threatening one. Player can use the dash ability to close the gap and kill it first, and then kill the melee enemies. After that, player will enter a little rest area to give them some break. For the next area, I want to make this area small and close to shift the fight style a little bit, since most of the fights in the level take place in a large area. I also wanted to make it look like, oh, there's only one enemy, I can just walk up, but when player walk up, the ghost enemy will appear. Also another good place to use the Dragonkin ability because there are three enemies. After killing all of the enemies, the door will open, and player will enter an area where there are boulders. The boulders hits very hard. Player need to use the dash ability at the right time to avoid getting hit by it. There's also a ranged enemy shooting from far away, so player will have to kill that ranged enemy first. After that, player can go down and kill all of the enemies that is throwing the boulder. The door will open after player kill all of the enemies, and the player will enter a very beautiful room. This serves as a resting area, but also give a sign that something is about to happen. When the player enter the arena, there will be a cutscene play where the final boss of the game is coming down from the tower and summon enemies to stop player from getting close to the tower. This also explains where the enemy are coming from. In order to get to the tower, the player will have to kill all of the enemies. Before I press forward, I do want to say that originally we planned to have a mini boss in this arena, but we have to cut it off due to scope. So instead, I wanted it to make the cutscene to show more storytelling and make this area more interesting. This is also a very last minute thing, so we as a team decided to do something just very easy and quick so we can make this area more interesting. After that, there will be a cutscene play where the bridge is coming down and the player can walk to the tower through the bridge. Player can also see the beautiful views on the bridge as well. For the tower level, we wanted to make it kind of like a roguelike game experience. There are many different floors in the tower level. Each floor is different in terms of layout and enemy. Some of them are easy and some of them are hard. But each time player clear the floor, they will also get a random boost in their stats or ability. We want the tower experiments to be different for each run. You can see that this floor is very similar to last one, but they are a little bit different in terms of layout. For this room, I really want player to feel the satisfaction of killing a lot of the enemy in the same time, because Dragon Frame is perfect for that. So player will enter this room, do a couple of attacks and charge up their energy bar and cast the Dragon Frame. We can do stuff like this is because our programmer programmed the AI that they cannot all attack at the same time, so they won't just all crowd around the player and one-shot the player. This room is the same as last room, but with more modified layout. The enemy are hidden. Player will have to explore the room a bit and try to find all of the enemies. This floor is another one of those floors where I want to ship up the 5 style. The room is smaller than the others, but nonetheless it's a very standard floor with just 1 range and 3 melee enemies. Player can use the target dummy as a cover to get close to a ranged enemy and kill it. For this floor, there are a lot of ranged enemy across the room, so player will need to get to the side of the room first and charge up their energy by killing this melee enemy, and then they can use it to kill the ranged enemy. This is one of the hardest room in the tower level. There's also brick room in the tower level. This brick room will always appear before the boss level, so it will give player a break. Inside of the brick room, player can enjoy the views and interact with airplanes. Just have some fun before the boss fight. When players enter the boss level, they will realize that they can't do any damage to the boss. But then player will see the altars. They will have to destroy all of the altars around the floor in order to do damage to the boss. We want player to explore the floor a little more, so the altars are distributed around the levels. This will promote player to make a decision, where should you dodge the boss ability first, or should you try to destroy the altar? Player will hear that "oh" sound when they know that they can start attack the boss. The boss will also do double damage if his health is below 30. So player needs to be careful of that.
With General Virgin dead, the ancestor's soul finally went to rest, leaving me all alone to take the throne. But now that I'm all alone, nothing can hold me back anymore. As I am finally free.
I think my biggest learning in this project is not to pull off any hero plays. Sure, you can have good ideas and you can try to get it into the game, but hero plays are usually solo mission. It takes so much more time and it's not even polished and it's not even worth it to do so. Making game is all about teamwork. Thank you for watching.